me? Can you focus on me? Baby, can you focus on me?
Welcome back to my channel. My name is Giselle Ganya, and today we're discussing something that we all experience but sometimes overlook: intuition. Join me as we explore the importance of trusting our instincts and how it can positively impact our decision making. Let's dive in.
I can't tell you the amount of times I did not listen to my intuition and shit went left.
First time you feel like a girl's not your friend, you need to trust that feeling. Don't ever question it again. Don't try to stay friends with her longer to see if you tripping. Don't try to give her 1, 2, 3 more chances. That it be real.
Because I read rooms well, and 9 times out of 10, I don't miss.
I relate to this video so much. In the past few years, my discernment has gotten crazy high. Growing up, I was always told that I had a gift. Because I suffer from anxiety, though, it was always really hard for me to differentiate between my intuition and just me being scared. So something that has really helped me strengthen my intuition over the years is that if you ever get a message in your head and you feel like physical discomfort, like you're sweating, your heart starts beating, that is usually anxiety talking. If you get a message, even if it's bad news, but you feel a sense of comfort and you know what to do next, that is your spirit talking. When your spirit is talking, when your intuition is talking, you will not feel physically scared, even if you get a message that is considered scary. It's kind of like having an assistant walking next to you constantly and just like whispering things in your ear, and you're just like, okay, I got it. So once I learned the difference between this, please, I am like the queen of reading a room. You cannot hide anything from me.
I hope this finds the right people, but please stop ignoring your intuition, especially if you're a woman, a highly spiritual person, or a highly emotional person. We are naturally intuitive. It is built in to protect us. I can't tell you the amount of times I did not listen to my intuition and shit went left. Listen to your intuition. Practice intuition exercises. My soul sister and I have been practicing this all weekend. We ask ourselves, does this feel right? You have to really tap in and tune into your emotions at that time, your gut feeling. If the answer is not immediately yes, then babe, it's a no, okay? Do not let anything sway you. And this does not go for like major life changes, business dealings, things you really have to sit on and weigh out the pros and cons. But people and situations, you can know immediately. If it causes you confusion, know and move accordingly. Love y'all.
Y'all, please pay attention to your surroundings and trust your intuition. Yesterday, I was on my way to the store to make a return, and I got to the stoplight and I noticed this car pull up next to me, and his window was rolled all the way down. And my windows are tinted, so I didn't think much of it, but I can tell that he's looking over at my car. So I'm like, okay, whatever. The light turns green, we both pull forward, and I pull behind him because I need to turn into the parking lot. We get stopped by another stoplight, and at this point I'm behind his car and I can see him looking at his side mirror the entire red light. Like, he just keeps looking in his side mirror. And at this point I was starting to feel a little bit weird because yes, my windows are tinted, but when the sun is out you can still see into my car. So I was like, is he looking at me? The light turns green, we both pull forward. I turn on my signal to turn into the parking lot. He turns on his signal to turn into the parking lot. So then he pulls into the parking lot, I pull into the parking lot. He goes one way, I go another way. So I was like, okay, that was just weird. Like, let me go on about my business. Now there are several stores in this plaza, so I find the store that I need to go to and I park my car, and something just tells me, don't get out the car. Like, don't do it. So I'm just sitting in my car and I wait a couple minutes and I see him pull in front of my car. And I'm like, okay, he slows down a little bit and then he just keeps going. And at this point, I'm starting to feel like really alerted. Like, this is really odd, right? So I wait in my car for another minute or so, and then I see him circle my vehicle again for the second time. And at this point, I'm taking pictures. And in the pictures, you can literally see him looking at my vehicle the entire time he's passing my car. So I wait in my car for another 5 minutes or so, and I don't see him. So I just shake it off and I go into the store. As I'm walking into the store, I look back and I see him literally sitting in his car in the same row, like where my car is parked, and he's just like a couple spaces down. And there are plenty of parking spaces available, so he's just sitting there. So I go into the store and I make my return, and I spend like a good 15-20 minutes just like walking around, just trying to calm myself down. So I leave the store and I'm looking around the parking lot and I don't see his car anymore. So I'm like, okay, phew, like that was weird. As soon as I get near my car, I look over and I see that he's parked in a spot and he's watching me walk to my car. He sees that I see him and he looks at me and he goes like this, and starts smiling. So I get in my car and I call my mom, I call my best friend. I'm just trying to figure out what to do because at this point, like, I know he's watching me. So I sit in my car for like 10 minutes and I finally get a hold of my best friend, and this entire time he's still watching me. So I pull off and drive to my nearest police station. So I filed an incident report, and thank God I got pictures of his vehicle, his license, and him. So the moral of the story is to pay attention to your surroundings and trust your intuition, because if something doesn't feel right, most likely it's not.
This story is a prime example as to why you should always trust your intuition, especially when it has to do with a person. I used to have a coworker on my old job that for whatever reason, something about her just never sat right with me. I'm a pretty easygoing person, so if I feel like your energy is off, I just kind of keep my distance, but I keep things polite and professional, being that we do work together. For whatever reason, I noticed that she would always ask about me and come looking for me whenever I was off work. I found this to be a bit odd, being that I wasn't really close to her. We were just co-workers that worked at separate departments, mind you. One day around Christmas time, she randomly just shows up with a gift for me. I open it and it's a huge bottle of tequila. She knows I love margaritas, but just again, she was one of those people that I kind of just hit hello from a distance, so it was weird for her to just show up with a gift for me and not anyone else. I of course said thank you, and in my head, alarm bells went off. It was like, don't touch it, don't drink it, just don't. I politely took it, said thank you, and that was kind of the end of it. Took it home. I ended up putting it in like one of my liquor cabinets, and I completely forgot about it. Me still trying to talk myself out of it. I'm like, I'm just being paranoid. She's just some random lady from my job. Like, I've never done anything to her. Maybe she's just being polite. Maybe she really was just trying to be nice. Months go by and I remember that I need to bring tequila to my mom's house because we were doing something. I remember the bottle and I'm like, well, I have a perfectly good bottle here. Why am I going to waste this when it's here? And all of this paranoia is all in my head anyways. I take it to my mom's house. I sit on her counter. The minute I sit on her counter, mind you, my mom's super sensitive. She's even more sensitive than I am. As soon as I set the bottle on the counter, she's like, where did that bottle come from? I explained to her, oh, one of my coworkers gave it to me. She right away goes, you need to throw this bottle away, discard of this bottle immediately. And I'm like, why? She then begins to tell me that the minute she saw the bottle, she picked up on his energy, and right away she knew that it did not come with good intention. She explained to me, and again, my mom's extremely intuitive. She explained to me that the person who gave me this bottle wanted like ill intent, and she wanted me to be harmed. But this bottle did not come from her. Someone actually gave this to her, wishing her harm, and her response was to give it to me. The whole purpose of this bottle was for anyone who consumed it, that person would go crazy. I was a little mad at myself for not trusting my intuition in the first place, but also thankful that my mom was able to pick up on it. And I actually ended up leaving that job for unrelated reasons, but I remember for months after, I constantly had people that I used to work with telling me that she would constantly go up to them, asking them about me and how I was doing and if I was okay. I wonder why.
Your instincts are always right. The science shows that we make decisions in our body first, even though your brain might go, whoa, 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 whoa. You can't transfer. What are people going to think? Whoa, 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 whoa. Get a divorce? Are you crazy? We're Irish Catholic. People don't do that here. You mean apply to nursing school after you're divorced? People don't do that. You can just do that? Yes, you can. Because 9 times out of 10, when you truly tune in and you allow yourself to feel the decision, it's going to require courage, because it's going to disappoint people, and it's going to require a change, and it's going to require you to learn something new, and it's going to require you to step away from the pack, and that's freaking terrifying. And that's why we don't do it. There is so much magic for you to discover in your life, but it's going to require courage.
If there's one thing I know for certain, if you are around your friend and you get the smallest inkling, the smallest, like this big, that they are not your friend, they are not your friend, and you need to get out of there immediately. Like, you don't need to make excuses for them. You don't need to ask other people about their opinion or anything else. They are just not your friend, and you need to save yourself before it's too late. I promise. I would tell you a joke, but I'd never tell you a what. Exactly.
Time you feel like a girl's not your friend, you need to trust that feeling. Don't ever question it.
To offer a perspective that I gained while I was in Mexico and I was away from what I was comfortable with, your intuition never is wrong. And if you think back when your intuition told you about somebody and you ignored it and you always found out that your intuition was right, you'll see what I mean, right? So in order to trust yourself, you have to trust your gut. That feeling that you get of anxiousness when you encounter energy that doesn't mesh well with yours or is combative to yours and you haven't even done anything, trust that. Mama ain't lie when she said that friend was jealous of you. I know we want to be sisterhood all together, but everyone's energy ain't for you and your energy ain't for everybody. So with that in mind, trust your motherfucking gut, because it's never wrong if you think about it.
Time you feel like a girl's not your friend, you need to trust that feeling. Don't ever question it.
Okay, y'all, I've literally never, I don't think I've ever stitched a video, but I had to stitch this one. Coming from somebody who's had girls pee in their face wash, girls leave them stranded, I am the first person to tell any woman out there, the first time you think shawty is not your friend, take heed and get your ass on, because she is not your friend. I'm telling you now.
First time you feel like a girl's not your friend, you need to trust that feeling. Don't ever question it.
No, but shout out to this creator because her views are going up, and I know everybody can relate to this video. No matter how old you are, all the women can relate to this video. But there was this girl on here who stitched this video. Her name is Authenticity Vibrations, right? And she made a great point about how some friends, they just want to study you. And these are the friends that are like people pleasers. They come off really, really nice, and you can't really see their motive, but you like have to be really in tune. And it's really about how you feel. It's not really about how they're showing up, for real. They do things subtly. They're kind of like covert narcs. They're behind the scenes with the bullshit that they do, but you would never catch it unless you really know how to deal with these types of people. So my thing to you is, I'm a very, very, very spiritually connected person, and I feel things very deeply. I'm also a seer. Like, I can see things, whatever, and sometimes things comes to me in my dreams. Like, I will see people's conversations about me in my dreams, and they will come to fruition. There's mad times that I predicted these things and they've come to fruition. They've come true. But I used to have this one girl in my life, right? And I couldn't figure out what was going on with her. She was so nice to me. She was so cool. She was just, you know, always inviting, always checking on me, always doing the most, basically. And I thought that finally I found an authentic friend, right? But she never did anything to me directly, like was rude or malicious or even, I don't know, anything bad, anything that we would consider like a huge red flag. But it's like, the best way I could describe it, I described it to my wife, the best way I could describe it is like walking into a beautiful house that is gorgeous, her being the beautiful house, right? Walking into a beautiful house that has floor to ceiling windows, gorgeous furniture, but when you walk in there, you think you would feel some sort of peace or some sort of wow factor or some sort of like, this is amazing. You feel nice in this house, right? But the house has this dark energy over it. Like, the house doesn't align with the outside of the house, or the inside of the house doesn't align with how it's presenting. You get what I'm saying? It's presenting as beautiful and loving and light and there for you, but the energy of it feels off, like all the way off. But it's, you can never put those two things together. They never align. Like, have y'all ever been friends with somebody like that, and how did y'all deal with it? Because I was really confused, like, should I really? But I did eventually.
You feel like a girl's not your friend, you need to trust that.
So I had this friend freshman through junior year of college, and she was just straight up mean. Like, she would make fun of my clothes in public. She would tell other people very private things about my intimate life and then laugh about it. She would call me names in public. She also took it upon herself to call my then boyfriend's super Christian sister and tell her that she probably needed to get my then boyfriend STD checked because I slept around a lot in my earlier days. And I stuck it out for so long because she would constantly blame it on her mental health. And it was a pattern. I would always confront her, be like, hey, that was really out of line. And it would be like, I'm so sorry, I'm just going through a lot. Like, I don't know how to handle it. And I bought that excuse for like 2 years until people finally snapped me out of it and were like, it's not an excuse. She's just really mean.
Time you feel like a girl's not your friend, you need to trust that.
Facts and a red flag that tells you you need to run the opposite way is if they tell you that they did not like you when they first met you. Bonus red flag is if they tell you why they judged you and why they didn't like you, and it's for the stupidest reason. Somebody once told me that when they first met me, they judged the hell out of me and did not like me because I wore Crocs. Mind you, this was the first time we had opened up to each other, and that's the first thing you're gonna tell me? That person is obviously very immature, and we are no longer friends. But it's important to know the difference between a fan and a friend. Trust your gut, stay safe out there.
So I was friends with a psychopath. And I don't mean like, oh my God, she was crazy. I mean, no, I genuinely believe that this girl was a psychopath. There are a lot of things that she has done, not just to me, but to other people that are certifiably insane. She does not show remorse. She has no empathy. I'm telling you, this girl. So I knew her from college. She was 1 year younger than me, and we had become pretty good friends after I graduated. I was dating a guy who was 1 year younger than me, so I would come to the university quite often. And so she became friends with him as well via me, so she was a good friend. She would do this thing in our friendship that I now can clearly see is a huge red flag, where she would get really upset with me for small things, like things that are not that big of a deal. And she would really overplay them, like, Amanda, like this really upset me, like she'd really drag it out, right? And me being a good friend, I would be like, oh my God, like, I'm so sorry. I did not mean to make you feel that way. Like, I can see your point. Like, just really sorry, right? And then she'd be like, yeah, well, like, that's how I felt. Don't let it happen again, that sort of thing. And I can now see clearly looking back, she was doing this because she wanted to create this hierarchy between us. I think she liked having me be in a position where I'm like trying to like win her back, like win her attention back, like I'm in trouble, to get what I mean, which is psychotic. Well, that guy that I was dating, he broke up with me one day out of nowhere, and I was absolutely devastated. We were together 1.5 years. I really, really loved him. And when I say it came out of nowhere, like there weren't even any conversations like, hey, you know, this isn't working out between us, or hey, you know, this isn't looking good. Like, I thought things were great between us, and then one day he was just like, we need to break up. And I was like, can we talk about this? And he was like, no. It was really hard. I was devastated. And she knew this. She knew how upset I was about it. At this point in time, I would still see him occasionally. Listen, sue me, okay? What do you want me to do? Like every, I don't know, maybe once a week or every few weeks, we would see each other, even though we were still clearly broken up. I think I was hoping we'd get back together. I don't know, whatever. So it was gonna be her birthday, and she had this whole thing planned for her birthday. She rented a really expensive hotel in Boston, and then we were gonna go out clubbing, and like that was the plan. And all her friends were coming, and he was coming, and she told me he was coming, and I knew that. I was okay with it. Honestly, I had seen him earlier that week. I was like, whatever, it's gonna be fine. We're cordial. Now, he had just started working at a new company, and it just so happens that her best friend also works at this company. So he and this girl's best friend had become friends. So fine, right? Well, I'm standing in the hotel bathroom getting ready. I hear when he arrives, he's like out in the main room with them, whatever. All of a sudden, I hear my friend say to him, hey, we have a surprise for you. And he's like, oh, really? What's that? And she's like, don't worry, you'll see. And my ears are pricking up because I'm like, the fuck? That's weird. Turns out there's a girl at his new workplace that he has a crush on. And I guess he had mentioned it to the girl's friend that he has a crush on this girl. So my friend invites this girl to her birthday party to try to set them up. She doesn't know this girl, mind you, but she knew that I was going to be there and that this is my ex-boyfriend that I still see sometimes, that I'm very upset, like devastated that we broke up. She invited a girl he has a crush on as a fun little game. And I'm sitting there in the bathroom like, no, she didn't, right? But it's her birthday, and also I'm kind of a pussy, so what am I going to say? So we eventually get to the bar, and I'm sitting at the bar having a drink, and he's down the bar talking to this girl, flirting with her, the girl that he has a crush on, right? I'm devastated, like I'm crying, not even like hiding it, like I'm like, I don't think my heart has ever been that broken, and I'm now 33 years old, and I can look back and tell you that I've never been that heartbroken in my life. My friend's best friend is with me, taking care of me, talking with me. She's so sweet. And fun fact, that girl is now my best friend today. How do you like that? It gets to the point where I'm like, I need to leave. And I go up to him and he's like, are you okay? And I'm like, no, I'm not okay. And he's like, I can see. He's like, do you want me to leave? And I'm like, no, I'm leaving. Like, I'm clearly the problem here. You stay, you have a great night, but I can never see you again. And I never want to speak to you again. And he was like, okay. And I never saw him again or never spoke to him again. Now, my friend, the one who arranged this whole situation, had the nerve to be mad at me the next day, saying I ruined her birthday by crying, and she told me that her best friend had a horrible night and she hated me and she hated having to take care of me. And I said, well, can I have her number so I can buy her drinks to thank her? And she said, no, she doesn't want to talk to you. turns out when I did eventually meet this girl on my own, none of that was true. That was a complete lie. She just didn't want us to be friends. And as I said, that girl is my best friend now. But are you ready for the kicker of the story? The most best part of the story? He married that girl. He married that girl. So I watched my ex-boyfriend on his first date with his now wife because my friend arranged for that.
Thank you so much. If you made it to the end of this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I want to keep the conversation going. What is a time that you listened to your intuition and it worked in your benefit? And what is a lesson that you've learned, one, from this video, and two, from your personal experience? Thanks for tuning in. See you in the next video. God bless. Bye.
Can you focus on me? Baby, can you focus on me?